Today's lesson, we're going to describe how natural rights influenced the founding generation in America and what it means to be virtuous as a citizen. So we're already building on what we know. We looked at colonial life in the colonies. Then we started to think about how to govern ourselves as citizens. And now we're going to talk about what should civic life look like for the average citizen. What are our responsibilities and duties as a citizen? So many values influenced us from our Roman Republic. All right, the Roman Republic, a lot of values, a lot of things in the Constitution are built off of what happened in the Roman Republic. So the Roman Republic, the common person had a voice in the Roman Republic. All right, and this common person, they would provide a check on the power of the government. All right, and also the power of the government would provide a check on the people's power. So the Roman Republic, they did their best at promoting the common good for the society and making sure that we look at society as a whole. All right, so you have to think about best for yourself and best for all. That's what we're looking at when we talk about the common good. So the Roman Republic, also known for classic republicanism, that is just a fancy term for placing the need of people, placing the need of their citizens as a community above individual liberties. All right. Citizens were taught that they work together to promote the interest and good of a country. All right. This is what happened in the Roman Republic. Aristotle, the philosopher we talked about last lesson, he also taught that human beings are not always self-sufficient and that they need political rule. So without political rule, there could be anarchy. That's what Aristotle's beliefs were mainly based off of. So what about citizenship and civic virtue? That's what we're going to look at today. The Roman Republic, they emphasized an important role of you guys, the duties of being a citizen. They said set aside personal affairs for the common good, to be a well-informed citizen, to be engaged in your own community. So think about, have you ever been engaged in your own community for the good of your community? West Branch, Springfield, Austintown, Canfield. What have you done for your community? Also, they set personal beliefs in generosity, having self-control, being respectful, fairness, and courage. All right. So civic virtue is doing what is best for the community and putting the common good. Always think about how can we help our neighbors. That is what civic virtue is. All right. So for example, we talked about taxes a lot. Taxes, they help others a lot. Out of my paycheck, money goes towards welfare programs, food stamps, things like that, and that is trying to help the common good out with our tax money. So today we are going to talk about civic virtue. Here's a quick definition for you guys.
In this History Illustrated video, we're going to take a look at the vocabulary word civic virtue. Now, civic is similar to a word we've been exposed to before, such as civil. And when we talk about things that are civil, we're generally talking about the people, or more in particular, the citizens. So if you're talking about the people or the citizens of a certain place, you have civic or civil. Now, virtue kind of means goodness. Now, it's a pretty
the common goodness,
meaning, but
all right?
In general,
being good for your neighbors.
Helps out here. So if you think of this, civic virtue is the goodness of the people, or thought of the opposite way as well, the goodness of a person to do good for the people or the citizens of a country. So civic virtue would be somebody doing something good for the whole community. So like your town, your state, your country, somebody's doing good for them, even at the cost of themselves. Like it might not be such a good thing for them, but they're doing it anyway. Here's a good example from from earlier in American history is George Washington. George Washington has been known to possess civic virtue. Oftentimes he showed up to help with the army. He ran the Continental Army, even though it wasn't something he had to do. He was asked to do it, and he decided to do it for the good of the people. Later on, they called him up to be the president, and he decided he would do it for the good of the people.
So, here's some other characteristics of being virtuous. All right. Today, from Aristotle, today we are going to look and try to investigate somebody in our life, somebody in our community, Ohio, your communities, or United States that shows virtuous, and that is what the basis is of today's investigation. All right. I look forward to seeing your responses and having a discussion next week.